here we are.
Here we are. Conclusion of budget whiskey roundup. We have come to the conclusion that the Wheel Horse Rye and the Buffalo Trace are the best of the budget whiskeys that we selected.
Yep. And by no means are these the only budget whiskeys out there. There's plenty of budget whiskeys out there. This is just the 8 that we selected,
right,
and the 2 that we've narrowed it down to.
And there's a good chance we're going to catch a little bit of heat on the Buffalo Trace, only because it's allocated. And while the MSRP is probably below $20, it's rare to find this, at least in Maryland, at the $30 price point.
Yeah, and actually we had a bit of a difficult time finding this, even to finish out this budget whiskey roundup.
Yes, because this is not the same bottle that we started with.
No, and I had a member of a local cigar lounge that I frequent gave this and donated this to the channel. So if you're out there,
thank you, sir.
Yep, thanks. But yeah, so
we are excited about this because this process is, we've tried to keep it clean. These are our honest picks.
Yeah.
And these are the best of what we selected so far.
Yep. And then just to, kind of announce a recent happening, we did just hold our first ever live event. And to those of you out there that were able to attend, very much appreciated. And somewhere along the lines, Todd may add a montage here that you guys can see of photos. I'm adding work for Todd to do.
Thank
so
you. Yeah.
He always likes it when I do that.
But I'm just going to edit this whole part out, so I don't have to do any of that. But.
Yeah. But it was fantastic. It turned out really good. That's all I have.
Yeah, and I almost feel bad that we charge an admission and you guys had to sign up for it, because we just had a blast doing it.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, other than the planning part of it, it was just an enjoyable afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're looking forward to many more of those to come, and there will be many more. So the more of you guys that can make it out to that, the better.
So the Buffalo Trace is, as you all well know, it's a very well-known bourbon.
190 proof.
What did we decide? It was 90 proof?
90 proof.
90 proof.
It's 190 minus 100.
This is personally one of my favorite budget bourbons for a Manhattan. Like one of the places we go to sing. I don't sing karaoke, but my girlfriend does. This is their rail.
Hi, Cassie.
This is their rail bourbon, and I order it every time. So yeah. I'm looking forward to what these two have to offer against each other in this case.
Yeah, and Wheel Horse, it was an unknown whiskey for us when we tried it, and for the price point, one of the best whiskeys that you can get, I think. It's very good. I don't know how well known it is, but it's a great rye.
It's a solid rye.
It works really, really well in a Manhattan. And going up against Buffalo Trace, which is probably one of the most well-known bourbons out there, it's going to be interesting to see. And it's kind of interesting also that out of the 8 whiskeys that we chose, we ended up with a bourbon and a rye.
And a rye, yep.
So, should we shut up and make some whiskeys?
I like that idea better.
Or should we shut up and make some Manhattans out of whiskeys?
Did you say let's make some whiskeys?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
A few moments later.
Very inviting. Smells like a Manhattan. Cheers.
Cheers. One sip.
Anybody knows these fools?
It's good.
It's a good Manhattan.
Yep.
Never gets old either. It's like just the overall flavor of that is just really good. You get the bourbon, you get all the other things that are in it. It's sweet. It's sweet.
But not overly so.
No, not overly sweet, but it's sweet.
I would say if you can find this allocated bottle of Buffalo Trace at the $30 price point, buy it all day long, especially for a Manhattan, because it's almost perfect. It's not a 10, but it is a solid 8, 8.5 all day long.
Yeah. Okay. Wheel Horse.
Smells much spicier.
Already different.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
All right. Cheers.
cilantro.
Cilantro.
This is going to be tough. So I think now we're at a point where this is solid, but this is tastier, more along the lines of what a traditional Manhattan should probably taste like, going back to rye whiskeys. What are your thoughts?
They're just so different. I think the Buffalo Trace as an entry for somebody who has never had a Manhattan is the way to go.
Right.
But I think the Wheel Horse for somebody who is experienced
More
in
defined palate.
cocktails like this,
Yeah.
a more refined palate, I think the Wheel Horse is the way to go. I think these are both very, very good. They're very far apart in flavor profiles, but I think they're both very good. Ugh, I don't know. So the question is, what direction do we go? Do we try to pick something that caters towards, a certain demographic, or do we just stick to our roots and go with what we think? I think that's what we do.
Yeah, I don't care about the demographics. I want to go with what we think is the better Manhattan.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're not trying to appeal to anybody here.
Well,
that doesn't help me with the answer, but...
no, I have... no. Okay. We're defining what direction we want to go. We're just sticking to our roots and our gut and what we think. I have an answer.
Man, the Buffalo Trace is so much sweeter. It's easier. It's actually easier to drink as a Manhattan, but it's not tastier. That's the problem I have.
Yeah, but if you think back to when we had Mellow Corn on here, right? Mellow Corn was a very good cocktail. And in the event that we just did, we sold a lot of the Mellow Corn.
Right.
A lot of neat pours and a lot of Manhattans. Manhattans made with Mellow Corn, which, it doesn't taste like your classical Manhattan.
Right.
But it makes a very good cocktail.
Oh, right. Yeah, so back up for the people that weren't at our live event. What we did is we had 3 whiskeys, which we did neat and then in a Manhattan. So you could taste of both neat and then in a Manhattan.
Right.
Old Line American Single Malt.
Yep.
Woodinville Bourbon.
Yep.
And the last one was a Matchstick Rye.
Bootjack.
Bootjack Rye.
Bootjack Rye.
So at the end of it all, when we did the tasting, then we opened it up to other
whiskeys. We did handmade cocktails, and we featured the 3 whiskeys that we also had in the flights,
right.
in the 3 flights, and then we opened it up to 3 additional ones in case somebody wanted to branch out. So
right.
we had the Bullet Rye, we had Maker's Mark, and we had Mellow Corn. And Mellow Corn for sure was obviously the oddball out of the group.
It was,
but I think we had more interest in the Mellow Corn than we did anything else.
Well, I spent a lot of time recommending it just because I wanted to give people a completely different flavor profile than what they had just had.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, more bourbon and more rye is right in on par with the bourbon and the ryes
right.
and the single malts that we had offered in the tasting. So
essentially, the people that got the Mellow Corn, they got 4 completely different whiskeys to try.
Yeah, single malt, rye, bourbon, corn.
Right.
Yeah, so they had the full experience, really. So anyway, going back to where we are now, I don't know. What makes the best Manhattan, right?
Right.
I mean, make it dramatic, but
this is a tough one because,
I don't know. I think I've come up with what I think.
Okay. I think I already know where you're going. I would categorize this as the best Manhattan versus the best daily drinker Manhattan.
Okay. So lay it out there. What you got?
So the best daily drinker Manhattan would be the Buffalo Trace.
Agreed.
The best overall Manhattan for characteristics and taste would be the Wheel Horse Rye.
I agree. And I think we're going to we're gonna throw some people for a loop out there because they're gonna go, how on earth is something that they've never heard of going to be Buffalo Trace? But it's just it's a deeper, richer flavor. It's a more diverse flavor. You get more off the nose than you do off the Buffalo Trace. You get more on the palate than you do on the Buffalo Trace. You get more on the finish than you do on the Buffalo Trace. Everything about it is more flavors, and it's more diversified.
Right.
It's not very singular. I think the Buffalo Trace is great as a daily drinker. It's easy to drink. It's sweet. It's got everything that you're looking for in a Manhattan, but I want something more than that. I want an elevated experience. I want something that's going to make me think.
Yes.
And I get that with the Wheel Horse.
Yeah, so the Buffalo Trace, again, it's allocated. I don't see it very often in liquor stores.
No. And we've been trying to find a bottle now for a little while just to finish this
Right.
series, and it's been difficult to find.
Right.
I've only been able to find it at one particular place, and they charge way more
too
than
much. Right.
I want to spend. Especially for a bottle that's sub 30. When
Right.
you're looking at a place that's selling for 2.5 times that,
Correct.
it's hard to swallow.
Yep. So, if
Buffalo Trace, we love you, but sorry.
Yeah, but it's, again, it's not sorry. It's just
No, they're
it's
both
just-
very
it's
good.
Just a little bit above it.
It is. And this isn't leaps and bounds above, but again, it's, guys, please keep in mind that this is our palate, this is our preference. Take it for what it's worth, but Buffalo Trace is great. I just want something. If I'm going to call it the best of the group that we've sampled out of, I want it to be something that tastes good and makes you think
Right.
about the cocktail.
Right. So I'm the guy that when I go to the liquor store once a week to buy the next batch of whiskey for Manhattans, I never get the same thing twice. I'm always looking at the next one, the next one, the next one.
Yep.
But with the Buffalo Trace being an allocated bourbon, if they had 3 bottles at a reasonable price, I'd buy all 3 because I would totally drink that every day.
I was going to say that wouldn't be for the channel.
I know.
It would be
I know.
for
No, but I'm talking like
personal consumption.
again. This is something Manhattans I drink almost daily.
Yeah.
So for me, the Buffalo Trace I would buy 3 bottles of if there were 3 available.
At a reasonable price.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
There's our winner. Right
here
there.
it is. Wheel Horse.
Wheel Horse Rye. This wasn't even on our radar up until a few weeks ago.
Owensboro, Kentucky. And I think we even went into this. 10th oldest permitted distillery in the state. I mean, there's some history behind it. I mean, these aren't newbies on the block, I don't
Right.
think. But around here, it's just not something that I've been very accustomed to. And
Oh, we're seeing it more.
Been experienced
I'm seeing it more on the
with,
shelves
but-
now.
yeah. So there you have it.
Go out and buy a Wheel Horse Rye.
Wheel Horse Rye. Buffalo Trace, if you can find it. Again, always a good one. And if you guys haven't already, here's my shameless plug. Hashtag shameless plug. Check out our Patreon. Check out our Facebook group. Go back and rewatch some of our videos that we've had out here. And if you guys get on the Facebook group, keep an eye out for the next event. We're going to be hosting something here very soon. We don't know exactly what it's going to be yet, where it's going to be, but we have some things in the works and we have some ideas. And if it's anything close to what we just pulled off, it's going to be a great time.
And we have a challenge coming up too. We're gonna throw that out there.
Oh, we do have a challenge coming up. It's going to be on. Is it going to be on? I think it's going to be on Manhattans.
Yes.
Oh, Manhattans. So
No, it's going to be on virgin cocktails or virgin
Pina Coladas.
Yes, because that's what we do.
Yeah. So anyway, until next time, guys. You know the drill. No Manhattan left behind.
One sip,
Nobody knows these fools. Cheers.
cilantro.